Welcome to Cut the COVID Crap Part 40. Monkeypox script, long COVID studies, and bad research. T-shirt of the week. Okay, so this week I'm gonna discuss three studies that I read. One is monkeypox. That's the new thing that we should be scared about, right? So it's a script, right? Um, in Munich in 2021, there was this exercise called strengthening the global systems to prevent and respond to high consequence biological threats. Link below as usual. Scenario move 1, attack on May 15, 2022, monkeypox outbreak in Brinia, which is a fictional country causing 1421 cases and 4 deaths. No international warnings or advisories. They have a couple of moves, as they call it, spread out over roughly a year and a half. But monkeypox outbreak. Um, it's a bit strange, right? A bit strange coincidence. Now all of a sudden it's all over the media, and sounds to me a bit like Event 201. Before COVID-19 broke out, there was this Event 201 with similar scenarios laid out. So that's one, the scenario. Then you get the definitions or the instructions on the official websites. I refer to a Dutch one, just one that I happened to read. Um, the RIVM, which is the Dutch equivalent of NIH, I guess. Those guys are listened to when it comes to diseases. Until very recently, on the website, it said there is a registered antiviral medicine against pox and monkeypox in Europe. Gone now. The treatment paragraph is gone and replaced by, surprise, surprise, a vaccination paragraph. Um, the current pox vaccination can be used in the first few days after a potential um, potential after getting the disease, and it can also be used as a uh, well, prophylaxis, basically as a protection against getting infected. So somehow recently, the 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 antiviral treatment is gone and vaccination is the only option. That sounds familiar. Um, and in the media, you can read oh, it's spreading around the world, and this is unprecedented. Um, Unprecedented. I mean, monkeypox has been around in Central Africa for decades, and it's going around there still. And even in Europe, you've had um, handfuls of cases every now and then. Is it spreading like crazy? No way. And if it's going around anywhere, then it is in Central Africa. Um, but also in the media, you'll see, in the mainstream media at least, uh, there's no reason to panic. There's no need for mass vaccination. That's a bit like COVID-19, right? Remember? Oh, you probably don't remember in 2020. Um, there's no reason for to getting a vaccination pass. We'll respect people's freedom. There's no. It's your own choice. There's no need for a vaccination passport. Fast forward 1.5 year later, and it's common practice. Not required in most countries anymore now, but yeah, that's the message. No reason to panic, no reason to panic. But yeah, the seed is planted. I don't see any anything that is not a parallel to COVID-19 when it comes to monkeypox. Anyway, subject number 2, long COVID studies. Um, Vinay Prasad, that I quote more often, link below as usual, um, discussed in a video just published today on YouTube. Um, 2 long COVID studies, a good one and a bad one. And I follow Vinay Prasad because like he is a pro-vaccination guy, and I'm always curious what the pro-vaccination people have to say about the research, the pro-vaccination doctors, at least. Um, so he analyzes the research, and surprise, surprise, the he finds bad research and good research. The good research shows like, yeah, there's you cannot distinguish, you cannot measure uh, um, who's got long COVID and not. It's hard to uh, impossible so far to pinpoint demographic, like with more well, apparently females have it more, and people with a history of anxiety have quote more that they have long COVID. But like when they do any physical measures tests, they cannot find anything. That's in the good research. And in the he discusses both researches, and in the bad one they say like, okay, um, uh, long COVID happens in 20% of the cases, and that's it basically. I would advise you to watch Vinay Prasad in his video, again link below. He explains it better than I can do, and he's got more authority to do so. But that's what I find. That's what I do on this channel. I I I watch a lot of research, and I pick out the stuff that is discussed properly on both sides. Again, he does an excellent job. It's roughly just over 20 minutes long, and you get the gist after a few minutes easily. Well done, Vinay Prasad. Lastly, bad research. Um, Dr. Bean, that some of you may know, again, link below. He discussed about a couple of days ago, um, uh, the first ever NIH NIND study on vaccine caused neurological injuries. So Dr. Bean publishes regularly as well. He's a bit uh, uh, harder to listen to in my with all due respect. I mean, you gotta get used to the Indian accent a bit, and he's a bit slow. But anyway, he discusses things in detail. So he discusses the study, the first ever study on vaccine caused neurological injuries. And if you take that study at face value, you'll get the impression like, okay, it happens sometimes, but all of these cases that were treated, they recovered. So all good. But he interviews one of the participants in that study, and it's a small study. I mean, it's like the the neurological injuries happen, but not often. Granted, not often. I mean, depends what you've what your definition of often is. But like, yeah, it's not that it's like multiple percents of people getting vaccinated, but I mean, it does happen. So he interviews a woman called Bree. Don't know her last name, but you'll find it if you. I'm sure you'll find it if you listen to the video. Video is an hour long. It's hard to get through the whole thing completely, but after the first 5, maximum 10 minutes, you get the gist. Basically, he interviews one of the participants of the study, and she's a well-known case. Like more than a year ago, she appeared in different videos already. She's got these neurological injuries, not recovered yet. In that study, she's a participant of that study, and she knows like more than half the people in that study. She says she's not recovered. None of the participants have recovered, and in that study, it's quoted that all of them have been recovered. It's 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 appalling. Basically, like, how can you publish something and then say like, okay, according to these and these markers, they've all recovered, and give the impression everything is good, no problem, we solved it. The participants are still suffering. And I'm not saying it's a big chance, but like, but come on, if you how dare you try to get away with it as researcher? I mean, it's how compromised can you be? I'm not against vaccinations. I try to say that in every video. I'm not against vaccinations. The side effects are likely in a small percentage of the people, but at least the people that get injured, treat them with respect and take them seriously. In a small percentage of the vaccinations, things go wrong. Well, find out what goes wrong, and give those people that suffered all the support they need. But no, pretending that they're recovered. I mean, it's a bit like Medidigere. That's another one that was in the original Pfizer trial, I believe. Um, like paralyzed from the waist down, cannot eat food independently, and it's a case of abdominal pain. That's it. I mean, it's ridiculous that this kind of research is published and pretending like there's everything is solved. I mean, it's very disrespectful for the people that actually suffer. But apparently it happens. So if you want to go by the headlines, you'll believe that, well, there's no side effects. But I'm glad Dr. Bean uh, digs in and actually interviews one of the patients, one of the people that was affected, because that gives a proper balanced picture. Have a look for yourself. It's quite long, but this is exactly where you can get a balanced view. Good luck forming your own opinions. See you next week.